Stay safe.
Stay active.
And stay healthy.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Barrett from PASS, Physical Activity and Sports Specialist, and we hope you're keeping safe, active and healthy at home or at school. This PE lesson is aimed at children in years 5 and 6, and it is a health and fitness PE lesson. In this particular lesson, we're going to be looking at how to take our heart rate or pulse accurately. We're going to be working out what happens to our body when we exercise and how that affects our heart rate or pulse, and taking part in a mini circuit. So for this particular lesson, you will need a clear space around you that you're not going to touch or move into anything. And you'll need a piece of paper and pen or pencil to record your heart rate or pulse. I'm going to do it in trainers, but you can do it in bare feet or socks if you prefer. So if you want to pause the video there and grab the equipment you need and ready to get started. Welcome back, year 5 and 6. Hopefully you're now ready for your health and fitness lesson. The first thing we're going to do before we start moving is take our heart rate or pulse. There are 2 ways to take your heart rate or pulse, and you may know one or both of them. If there's somebody at home, maybe you can tell them how to take your heart rate or pulse. So one way is in your neck, where you find your windpipe, which comes down here, and then put 2 fingers to the side of your windpipe. And if you're nice and quiet and still, hopefully you will feel that beat. The other place to find your pulse or heart rate is in your wrist. Again, find 2 fingers. If you're nice and still and quiet, hopefully you will feel that beat. So the best time of the day to take your resting heart rate is when you first wake up in the morning before you do any sort of exercise and move around. So our recording isn't going to be the fairest of tests because you may have done some exercise before or been moving around your household or school, but it's the best resting heart rate we're going to get. So this is how many times your heart beats in 1 minute. Okay, and we're going to work that out. So find your pulse, whether that be in your neck or your wrist, or if you have an activity tracker, fitness tracker watch, maybe you could go onto the heart rate setting and find your heart rate on there. But it's a good idea to be able to do it manually as well. So find that heart rate, guys, and I'm going to get ready to time us. I'm going to time us for 10 seconds. And then we are going to remember that number, and I'm going to tell you what function, what sum you're going to do with that. So find that pulse. Hopefully you've got it. If you haven't, pause the video until you've found your heart rate. Okay, get ready to count every time it beats. On your marks, set, go. Stop. Okay, you should have a number in your head. With that number, I'd like you to multiply it by 10. So times it by 10. So hopefully the easiest way to do that is to add a 0 or 0 on the end. So hopefully now you've got your resting heart rate, which means the number of times your heart beated in 1 minute. What I'd like you to do on your piece of paper is write down your resting heart rate. So if it's easier, you could write resting heart rate, draw a line, and then put down that total, because we're going to be working out lots of different heart rates as we go through this PE lesson. So what was your resting heart rate? Okay, so thinking about it, is it good that we have a really high resting heart rate? Do we want a really low resting heart rate? What are we thinking? Because a lot of the times I do a lesson like this and children are really proud if their heart rate is really, really high. But I'm not sure that's a really good thing. Because if our heart rate is really high, our heart is having to beat lots and lots in a minute. And that means our heart is having to work really, really hard. And we want our heart to be strong and be efficient and be able to do a lot of blood in one beat. So actually, we don't want our heart rate to be really high. So if you exercise quite a lot, you think you're quite a fit person, generally, your heart rate is a fair bit lower. Okay, so we're going to see what happens now to our resting heart rate when we begin to exercise. So we're going to start gradually with some slower exercises and then make it a little bit more challenging with some harder, more high impact exercises. So the first thing we're going to do is just some marching on the spot. So I want you to think about what's going to happen to that resting heart rate when we begin marching on the spot. Yeah, you probably guessed it. Hopefully that heart rate is going to increase. It's going to go up. So we're going to do some marching on spot for a short amount of time. Then I'm going to ask you to quickly find your pulse again. And then we're going to record the heart rate after we've done some marching on the spot and see what happens. Okay, guys, so find that clear space. And when you're ready, begin marching on the spot. Just gently swinging those arms forwards and backwards. Hips to lips with those thumbs, marching on the spot. Good stuff. And as you're marching, breathe in through your nose deeply and out through your mouth to get some air into those lungs. Good job, guys. So you're probably breathing a little bit deeper and a little bit harder now. We've been exercising too. And think about how your heart might be working now. Think about the fact that it's probably having to work a bit harder now. Now we're moving and exercising. Keep going, guys, as hopefully you're still marching on the spot. I'm going to just do this for a little bit longer, and then I want you to quickly try and find your pulse or heart rate. And hopefully, because we've been exercising, it should be easier this time to find your pulse, because hopefully it's a little bit stronger now. Okay, a little bit longer on the marching, guys. Keep it steady. Okay, can you find that pulse? So either in your neck, 2 fingers to the side of your windpipe, or on your wrist. Okay, quick as we can. Okay, and I'm going to say mark, set, go. You want you to count every time you feel that beat. And when I say stop, don't do any more counts. On your marks, set, go. Stop. Again, multiply it by 10, so times it by 10 or add a 0 to that number. Whew, okay, so have a look at your results. Compare your heart rate after marching on the spot to your heart rate before we exercise, so your resting heart rate. Have a look, see what pattern you can see. Has it gone up? Hopefully it has, otherwise our experiment is not particularly working well. So on your piece of paper, underneath where you've put down your resting heart rate result, I'd like you to put marching or walking and then your heart rate next to it. Okay, so now you've got 2 sets of heart rates, 2 sets of results. Okay, the next exercise we're going to do is a little bit higher intensity. We're now going to be jogging on the spot. Okay, so we've done resting, we've done marching or walking, and now we're going to go a little bit faster. So medium speed on the spot jogging. We're going to do exactly the same, jog for a little while, then find our pulse, work it out and record it. Think about what you think is going to happen to your pulse now. A little bit harder exercise, so sort of medium intensity. How is that going to affect your heart rate? And maybe you can predict or estimate what you think your heart rate is going to go up to this time and see how close to your estimation you can get. Okay, guys, let's get ready to jog on the spot. It's a little bit higher intensity now, moving those arms and legs a little bit faster. Might want to get the knees up a little bit higher this time and still moving those thumbs from hips to lips. Good job, guys. Don't forget your breathing when you're jogging. When you ever run, you always have to breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth to relax your breathing and get those air in and out of the lungs. Okay, you're probably feeling like this is harder work now than you're marching, and it should be, because now you're working at medium intensity. Keep it going, guys. Make sure you're in control of your body, so you're landing back in the same place every time. Keep it going. Keep thinking about the breathing. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Are your thumbs still going from hips to lips? Are you bringing those knees up a little bit higher? Okay, a couple more seconds, guys. And then we're going to find that pulse as quickly as we can and start counting. Okay, find your pulse. Again, hopefully it should be a little bit stronger because we've been exercising at a higher intensity than we did for our marching and our resting. Okay, is everybody there? On your marks, set, go. Keep counting. Stop. Okay, as before, multiply or times it by 10. Add a 0 to your result. And then write down on your piece of paper next to jogging what your heart rate or pulse is. So the number of times your heart beats in 1 minute. And the unit we use when we talk about heart rate is BPM, beats per minute. So it might be 80 beats per minute, it might be 90 beats per minute, 105 beats per minute, whatever it might be, put BPM next to your number because that's the units we're working in today. Okay, we're going to do 2 more exercises like this, a slightly higher intensity again. We're going to do some jumping jacks or star jumps on the spot, and then we're going to do some sprinting. So have a look at your results. Can you already see a pattern from your resting heart rate to your marching or walking to your jogging? What's happening to that heart rate? And then what do you think is going to happen in the final 2 exercises of star jumps or jumping jacks and sprinting on the spot? I don't know, but hopefully your pattern should be that it's gradually increasing. So if we were to draw our results on a graph, they would be going up like this. Okay, and hopefully if you've been able to count your heart rate accurately, yours will be too. Okay, so for our jumping jacks or star jumps, you can do them in 2 different ways. One's more energetic than the other. So jumping jacks is this one. So arms and legs out to the side, wide, narrow, wide, narrow. And if you're feeling really energetic and you want to do more of an energetic star jump, we bend the knees, hands on the knees and explode. Okay, which is a little bit more tougher on the legs and certainly on the heart rate. Okay, so it might be that you start with the energetic star jump. So if you get tired, you can go into the jumping jacks. It is up to you. So choose your level, guys, and get ready to begin. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So really working those arms and legs on these jumping jacks and star jumps. Really explode. Get the arms and legs nice and straight out to the side. Bending the knees to explode off of the floor. Good job, guys. Hopefully you're still going. Remember, if you get tired, you can turn it into a jumping jack instead of an explosive star jump. Okay, stop there and find your pulse or heart rate. Again, hopefully it should be easier to find now, a bit stronger. Get ready to count on your marks, set, go. Stop. Okay, multiply that number by 10, add a 0. Write it down next to star jumps or jumping jacks, what your beats per minute were. Number of times your heart rate beated in 1 minute. Is it what you expected? Has it gone up even more now? Ready for our final exercise in this section of the PE lesson? And yep, you've guessed it, we're going to be sprinting on the spot. So like the star jumps, we're not going to do it for quite as long as we did the marching and the jogging, because it's a much higher impact, explosive exercise, and it works that heart a lot harder, or so we hope. So again, your results should be going up like this if you've been measuring your heart rate accurately. Okay, so not giving ourselves too much rest, we're going to go straight into our final exercise on this section, our sprinting. So make sure you've got a clear space, guys. I always find it interesting when I teach sprinting in schools, everyone puts their heads down and runs like this, which is not how we'd sprint if we were running on a track or on a sports day. So think about what your body looks like when you sprint, okay? So arms up, hips to lips with those thumbs, knees up a little bit higher this time, eyes forward at your finish line, landing nice and softly on the balls of your feet, and power through it. Keep it going, guys. Keep going, keep powering through. And get ready to take your heart rate and heart rates. Find it as quick as you can, so it's a true reflection of your heart rate. Okay, and on your marks, set, go. Stop. Okay, multiply it by 10, add a 0. That's your final recording in this section of the PE lesson. Whew. Was it your highest heart rate, or were the star jumps, jumping jacks higher, depending on how you did them? It's definitely got the heart beating faster. It's definitely got me breathing deeper and heavier. So it's definitely doing what we want it to do today. Okay, awesome. So you've got a number of different readings there on how your heart is working, okay? And hopefully, like I said before, if you've been accurate in taking your heart rate, then hopefully your results should be increasing, or they might be a little bit different between the star jump and the sprinting, depending on how you did the star jumps. Okay, if you need to grab a drink, please do so. If you want to pause the video and take a few minutes rest, we're going to go straight into our final activity, which is going to be a short circuit of explosive exercises where, again, we're going to be taking our heart rate after each exercise. Okay, so circuit training is a really good way of training all different parts of the body, and it definitely gets our heart beating faster. We don't want to do each exercise for too long, but we'd like to do high intensity, so work really hard on each of the intervals or each of the circuits. So we're going to be doing 4 different exercises. I'm going to show you what they look like first so you can copy them, because it's really important that we get the technique right, otherwise we could injure ourselves and hurt our muscles, etc. So first exercise is going to be ski jumps. Okay, it's really cold out there, so it's nice to think about what we might be able to do if we get outside and be skiing on the slope. So these are going to be ski jumps, okay? And you're going to keep your feet together and your knees together and jump 2 feet to 2 feet, side to side. And if you want to hold your ski poles out in front of you, okay, it's a bit like a speed bounce that you've probably done in school, okay? So exercise number 1 is our ski jumps. Exercise number 2 is going to be our butt kickers. So this is kicking our heels up to our bottoms. If you want to put your hands behind you, so your heels are touching the palms of your hand. That is exercise number 2, butt kickers. Exercise number 3 and 4 are going to be quite similar. They're mountain climbers. One is standing up and one is on a lower level. So first of all, we've got the standing up mountain climbers, and we call these lateral mountain climbers, which is a fancy word for going sideways. So this is what it looks like. I'm going to start one side. It's almost like climbing up a ladder, and then the other side. Okay, so moving side to side, pulling with your arms like you're climbing a ladder, and bringing your knees up. Okay, that's our lateral mountain climber. Our other type of mountain climber is going to be lower to the floor. If you did some of our personal challenges last year, you'll remember this one. So hands flat and shoulders underneath wrists, and you're going to have your feet out behind you, and you're going to bring your knees in. Okay, so bring your knees up into your chest. Okay, going onto the balls of your feet. I think I said 4 exercises, but there are actually 5. The final exercise is called pogo jumps. Now, pogo sticks are quite an old school sort of toy that people, your mums and dads and people at home might remember. And this is where you'd hold a bar like this and it would jump. And now the key is to keep your feet flexed, your feet flat. And so you're going to be jumping like you're jumping on a pogo stick. And again, you can move laterally, so side to side, like you're on your pogo stick. So we've got 5 different exercises there. Ski jumpers, butt kickers, lateral mountain climbers, normal mountain climbers, and pogo jumpers. Okay, and we're going to have a go at doing those 5 different exercises in a moment. Before we do, now you've seen me demonstrate each of those ones, which one of those 5 do you think is going to work your heart the hardest? So which one is going to get your heart rate up? Oh, I don't know. I've got my ideas. I wonder if they're going to be the same as what you're thinking. So on your piece of paper, maybe you could write down numbers 1 to 5 along, and number 1 being ski jumpers. So if you want to quickly write down ski jumpers or ski jumping, or just put ski if it helps. Number 2 is your butt kickers. If you want to just put butt, that's fine. So butt kickers is number 2. Number 3 is the lateral mountain climbers. So you just could put LMC or L mountain climbers. It's up to you. Number 4 is the normal mountain climber, so you can just put MC. And number 5 is those pogo jumps. So you could just put PJ if you want, or you can write pogo jumps. So which one of those 5 are you going to put a star next to, which you think is going to work your heart the hardest? Okay. Which one of those 5 do you think is going to be the easiest on your heart? Which one do you think your heart rate is going to be the lowest on? Okay. Right, okay, so we're going to do each of those exercises just for a short amount of time, and then after each we're going to find our pulse or heart rate like before, count it and record it next to the specific number that we've written down on the piece of paper. Whew, this is definitely going to work our heart hard. So our first exercise is our ski jumps, or ski jumpers. So get ready, guys, to get into your ski jump position, and I'm going to get ready with our timer. Okay, so remember, landing nice and softly, 2 feet to 2 feet, keeping our knees together and our feet together. Okay, guys, is everybody ready? Let's go, ski jump. Now, there's only going to be short intervals, guys, so try and work nice and fast. Imagine you're skiing down the slopes in France or Italy. Keep it going. You're about halfway now, so we're doing 30-second intervals. Keep it going. Less than 10 seconds. Keep jumping. 3, 2, 1, stop. Find your heart rate. Hopefully we're getting quicker at finding our pulse or heart rate now. Okay, get ready to count. Go. Stop. Remember, like before, multiply that number by 10 or add a 0, and then write down your heart rate in beats per minute, BPM, next to your ski jumpers, which is exercise number 1. Whew. Was that the one that you thought was going to work the heart hardest? Or maybe it was going to be the easiest one. Okay, next we've got our butt kickers for 30 seconds. So get yourself ready, in position for butt kickers. Okay, remember, feet out behind us, kicking our palms of our hands. And go. You can work at whatever level you like here. Obviously, you can go super fast if you're feeling up to it. But remember, there's still another 3 exercises that follow this one. Keep it going, guys, almost halfway. Keeping those heels touching the palms of our hands. Less than 10 seconds here, 5, 6. Keep it going. 5. Get ready, find that pulse now. Find that pulse. And get ready to count, set, go. Stop. Multiply that number by 10 or add a 0. And then write down your heart rate in beats per minute, BPM, next to butt kickers, which is exercise number 2. Whew. Has your heart rate gone up? Was it similar? Was it lower? Look at that pattern. Okay, exercise number 3, not sure if you'll remember it, but it was the lateral mountain climbers. So the standing up mountain climbers moving from side to side. And we're once again going to repeat that for 30 seconds. So get yourselves ready, guys, on one side of the room. And go. So like you're pulling up a ladder and getting those knees up nice and high at the same time, landing nice and softly on your feet. Careful of any low ceilings. You're driving those arms, driving those legs. Well done, guys, you're over halfway already. Landing nice and softly. Keep going. Less than 10 seconds remaining. Keep going, last big push. 3, 2, 1. Find your heart rate. Okay, get ready to count. And set, go. Stop. Multiply that number by 10 or add a 0. That's the number of times your heart beats in a minute when doing lateral mountain climbers, exercise number 3. Whew. Getting on to our penultimate exercise, exercise number 4, which is our normal mountain climbers, which means we need to get down low onto our hands and our feet for this one. Again, for 30 seconds. So if you want to get in position, guys. Okay, so here I am on my hands and my feet. Make sure your technique is good so you don't injure yourself. Shoulders and wrists in line. Are we ready? Go. So bringing your knees up to your chest as best you can. Pace yourselves because this one can get tough. Don't forget to breathe. In for your nose, out for your mouth. Coming up for halfway, guys. Keep it going. Over halfway now. Well done. Keep pushing. You've got 10 seconds left here, 5, 6. Last big push. 5 seconds. And stop. Find your heart rate. Woo. Again, it should be easier to find now because it should be much stronger. Okay, and set, go. Stop. Okay, multiply that number by 10 or add a 0. Write down that answer next to MC mountain climbers in beats per minute, BPM. Whew, we are almost there, year 5, 6. We're on to our final exercise. Exercise number 5. Should have written down PJ, which is pogo jumps. Okay, so again, we're going to do this one for 30 seconds, and we're going to be moving laterally, so sideways. So make sure you've got space in your room or on your mat to do so. And this time, remember, keeping our feet flexed, so our feet nice and flat, like we're pushing onto our pogo stick. Right, are we ready, guys? Our 30 seconds begin now. Almost like you're moving like a kangaroo or a bunny rabbit, sideways. Well done, guys. 10 seconds up already. Keeping those feet flexed or flat. Coming up with 10 seconds left. Can you go a bit faster for the last 10? And stop. Find your heart rate. Whew, last time. Find that pulse, heart rate. Set. Go. Stop. Multiply that number by 10 or add a 0. And that is your final heart rate. Number of times your heart beated in 1 minute in BPM. Ooh, so now you've got a set of 5 results, guys. Was it what you expected? Was it what you predicted? I asked you which one you think was going to work your heart the hardest at the start of this activity, and which one do you think was going to be the easiest on your heart? And was it what you thought? We didn't have much of a rest in between, so maybe towards the end you were starting to tire, so it meant your heart was having to work even harder. Maybe your first exercise you went a little bit slower on because it was your first one and you knew you had 4 more afters. So there can be different changes in our experiment, but I wonder whether it's what you thought. Whew, well, I don't know about you guys, but I've worked my heart really hard today, and hopefully you guys have too. We've learned how to take our heart rate or pulse. We've learnt what happens to our heart rate when we exercise. We've learnt what units we write down our heart rate in. And we've now learnt some new different exercises to do, hopefully as safely as we can. Those exercises you can repeat at any time at home. Maybe challenge some people in your household to do your circuit as well, where you could do the timing for them and the counting for the heart rate. In our next PE lesson, we're going to be working on some other circuits where we're going to do some more sports-specific circuits, as many of you will be doing different games activities at school, and hopefully come up with some of your own exercises to replace some of mine too. So in the meantime, stay safe, stay active, stay healthy.